Okay, good morning. This is the information session for the Georgia Tech China summer program. And so we'll begin the information session, and this is being recorded. And so this is the information session we say is for transient students. What transient students mean that they are students from other U.S. universities. They're not Georgia Tech degree-seeking students. So we welcome those students to join the program alongside Georgia Tech students, but a lot of the information apply to Georgia Tech students as well. We just have extra information for non-Georgia Tech students. And so I'll finish the presentation, and then at the end we'll have opportunity for questions. Okay, so the Georgia Tech China Summer Program started in 2005. So in 2019, this will be the 15th time that we run this summer program. On this program, we offer Georgia Tech lecture courses for Georgia Tech credit. And so in 2019, we'll be offering 9 Georgia Tech courses. They're all taught in English by Georgia Tech faculty. So the location of the program is in Shenzhen, China, in the southern part of China, right next to Hong Kong. In fact, it's has a with a border adjacent and with a border with Hong Kong, and it's very fast connection from where we are to Hong Kong. It's just 15 minutes by high-speed rail, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Well, on the program, in addition to the Georgia Tech 4 credit classes, we also have non-credit cultural classes, and we have field trips. We're going to have speakers, invited industry speakers, entrepreneurs, etc. So we have a lot of activities on the program as well. The advantage of joining this program is that you can experience the ancient Chinese culture and see the Shenzhen's high-tech environment, and also graduate on time. So you can earn Georgia Tech credits, so you don't slow down your progress towards a degree. Now, for non-Georgia Tech students, you earn the Georgia Tech credit and then transfer back to your home institution. Because where it's located, it's very close to Southeast Asia, so you can use the Shenzhen as the base to explore other regions of the other countries or regions in the Asia Pacific area. So for example, for students on our program, they travel a lot. Every weekend is a long weekend. So we have students who travel to many different cities in China. Shenzhen has very good transportation links to many parts of the area. Shenzhen has a really nice airport. It's one of the most beautiful new airports in the world, and has high-speed rail connections, and has also the ferries, shipping routes and ferry routes to many parts of the area. So it has all different transportation modes. Our students also, you can make very easy day trips to Hong Kong, take a ferry ride to Macau, that's 1 hour away. We also, in the past, we have students who travel to South Korea, to Taiwan, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, etc. So here's a map of the area. That red dot is Shenzhen. It's actually so close to Hong Kong that the map doesn't show Shenzhen, separate from, it doesn't show the word Shenzhen, but it's that red dot right next to Hong Kong. So you get an idea of where it is located. There is a very nice overview video of Shenzhen. We recommend that you click on that link. You'll watch that YouTube video later on your own. It's a very newly made video that showcases Shenzhen. It's really the city of the future. It's super modern. It's actually more, it appears, you can see that it has a really good infrastructure. It's more modern than many leading cities of the world. The city was established only in 1980. It was a small fishing village, or a collection of fishing villages. And then in 1980, it became a city, and now it has a population of over 10 million people. There are different counts. Some say 19 million because of the migrant population, but it's definitely over 10 million. It's a young city. The average age is about 30, and it has a lot of people, just high-tech workers and just a different group of people, but very young and vibrant city. It is a city with the highest GDP per capita in mainland China. Because it's a young city, a lot of you may not have heard of it, but it may surprise you. It actually has higher GDP per capita than the capital city, Beijing, and it also has higher GDP per capita than Shanghai. Those are the cities you may be more familiar with, but Shenzhen is really now a leading city in China because of the industry. It's called the Silicon Valley of China. So in Shenzhen, excuse me, where our campus is very close to the Shenzhen North high-speed rail station. It's only 4 miles away. So if you take metro, it's 2 metro stops or about 6 minutes on metro. Excuse me. So from our campus, you can easily go to Shenzhen North Railroad Station, and then from there, it has high-speed rail links to many cities in China. So from there, for example, you can take just 15 minutes of train ride. You'll be in the downtown area of Hong Kong. And then from there, you can explore Hong Kong, or if you want to go to Hong Kong Airport, there is an airport express from the high-speed rail station in Hong Kong. Here is, again, a map showing, when we zoom in to see the area, you see Shenzhen, and you'll see Hong Kong here to the okay, so you see Shenzhen and Hong Kong, and then also Macau is nearby. So from the Shekou port in Shenzhen, you can go take 1 hour ferry ride to Macau, and you can take a 1 hour ferry ride, beautiful ferry ride to Hong Kong, or you can take the high-speed rail, just 15 minutes. So here's a picture of, excuse me. Here's a picture of Shenzhen. You see, Shenzhen is a very beautiful city, very green, lush. It has about 45% of green coverage ratio. It's one of the greenest cities in China, and also because it's close to the sea, it has a lot of because of the green coverage, and it's very has very good air quality. You hear about the pollution in China. That's mostly in the north. Here in the southern part of China, especially with being close to the sea, the air quality is pretty good. And here's a picture of Hong Kong, downtown Hong Kong. Again, from Shenzhen North, you can go to Hong Kong very easily. Okay, so for transient students, here are the eligibility requirements to join Georgia Tech study abroad programs. First, you must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. So if you are an international student on F1 visa, you're not eligible. So you have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. And you are currently enrolled in a U.S. university. Okay, so if you're enrolled in, let's say, Canadian university, then you would not be eligible. So you have to enroll in a U.S. university. You must have completed a minimum of 30 semester credit hours or 45 quarter credit hours at a U.S. university. So you must be in good academic standing, meaning here that for transient students, you need to have at least 3.0 GPA from your home institution, and you also need to have good disciplinary standing. So if you meet these requirements, then it doesn't matter what major you have, as long as you can take at least 2 courses from our program, then you can participate. So this is a program that it's called faculty-led. So we have Georgia Tech faculty leading students to China, and we make all the arrangements. So the total duration of the program is 9 weeks. From May 20th to July 18th, that's instructional time. for 9 weeks of instruction. And then the final exams, we only have 2 days for the final exams because we have only 9 classes. And some of the courses don't have final exam, they have final essays, so we're able to fit all the final exams in 2 days. So from the beginning, May 20th, to the end, July 20th, is exactly 2 months. In this case, it's also 9 weeks. Every week is a 3-day weekend. Every weekend, we don't have classes on Fridays. So this makes it easier for students to explore China. So for example, we have students who take night trains Thursday nights, and then Friday morning, they wake up somewhere in China. And if they don't take the high-speed rail, if you take high-speed rail, it's just a few hours to most places. But if you take those sleeper trains, and that serves as your hotel, and then you wake up the next morning in a new part of China, and we have students do that a lot. So you can take advantage of the long weekends to explore. Now our classes, I'll show the schedule later. We don't have scheduling conflicts, so we don't have parallel classes. So at one point, there's only one class going on, so you don't need to worry about scheduling conflict. If you see a class that you want to take, just go ahead and register for the class. The courses are all taught in English, so you don't really need to know Chinese to participate in the program, not at all. Actually, in Shenzhen, the street signs are all in English and Chinese. On the subways, they make announcements in English and Chinese and Cantonese. So you don't really need to know Chinese. And for our program, of course, these are Georgia Tech regular courses. We don't teach in Chinese, so we teach in English. So you don't need to worry about the Chinese language. Of course, if you know Chinese language, it will be helpful to get around. But now with Google Translate, Baidu Translate, you can communicate easily with just your phone. Type in the English, and it will translate into Chinese or even speak for you. So don't worry about the Chinese language proficiency. And so these are the classes that you take and you earn regular Georgia Tech course credits. And then at the end of the summer, after our grades are finalized for all the classes, then you get a Georgia Tech transcript, and then you work with your home university's registrar's office to transfer the credits back to your home institution. And you're going to be back to your home institution after the summer. So here's our schedule outline. And so we have classes starting at 8 a.m. If you take those classes, and then the last class ends at about 6:50 p.m. or 6:08 p.m., depending on what day it is, whether it's Monday, Wednesday classes or Tuesday, Thursday classes. We just have these 2 types of classes. Because we compress the same number of minutes to 9 weeks, so there's a compression going on. And so each class lasts a bit longer than when they are in Atlanta, but we teach the same amount of total coverage, same what we call contact minutes. On Wednesday evenings, after the last class, we have a cooking class, Chinese cooking, and every week we teach a different cooking, different dish. And then on Tuesday evenings, we have weekly Tai Chi classes. So these are all part of the program activities. And then there are additional activities. And here we have list here, if you see on the calendar, activity 1, that's the arrival, that's opening ceremony. After the arrival, activity 2, that is Shenzhen overview tour. And then during the program, there is a holiday called Duanwu holiday, also called Dragon Boat Festival. We're going to have organize some activities. And then this activity 3 mark here is on July 4th. Every July 4th, we have a celebration, we have a talent show. And then activity 4 is the closing ceremony and dinner. These are just every year we have these same activities. However, there are more activities I'm not showing on this calendar that we'll also arrange. And also you can see that every weekend it's green. And when it's green, that means long weekend. So here are the courses, list of courses for Georgia Tech credit. We have the first level CS class, CS 1331. We have the next level CS class, CS 2340. You can read the descriptions later. So yeah, these are the Georgia Tech catalog descriptions. And if you want to know more details, you can just Google search these courses. You should be able to see the coverage of these courses generally from Georgia Tech, but also on our website we have the syllabus on our website. So we have 2 CS classes. These are not restricted to CS majors. At Georgia Tech, it's actually hard to get into these CS classes because the CS classes are very popular. But on our study abroad program, as long as you have the anyone can take these classes. If you have the background, like CS 1331, it doesn't have prerequisites, so anyone can take. So yeah, these are, if you want to know more, you can visit our website and look at the syllabus. EC 3710, this is a very basic circuits and electronics course. At Georgia Tech, this is for non-ECE majors, for them to learn the basics of circuits and electronics. If you are ECE major, then you need a more rigorous version of this course. So this is not for the ECE major, but if you want to know the basics and as a non-ECE major, this is a course to take. Now, your university may have different requirements for these courses, so you can compare the syllabus and see how much overlap they have and how it maps into your university course. MSc 2001, this is a basic course for material science majored, and also for like aerospace, and also at Georgia Tech, a lot of other major students take it as engineering electives or technical electives. For example, in aerospace, in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, even some ECE students take this course. It's a very basic course, MSc 2001, Principles and Applications of Engineered Materials. Now, ISYE 2027, that is probability with applications. ISYE 3770 is statistics with applications. So these treat in depth the topic of probability and the topic of statistics. Now, Georgia Tech ISYE, it stands for Industrial and Systems Engineering. That's the #1 department for almost like 30 years in the U.S. So ISYE is the #1 in the U.S. In Industrial Systems Engineering. So at Georgia Tech, our probability statistics group, excuse me, is located in the ISYE department, and so these are very rigorous classes that that you can take, and for most students, you need some kind of probability and statistics. Chinese 1001, that's the first course in Chinese language, elementary Chinese 1. That is 4 credit hours, so it includes lecture and some practices. Excuse me. So this course is taught in English. You learn Chinese, but the instruction is in English, so that because this is serving as Chinese language for the non-Chinese speakers, of course. So it's actually taught in English. Now, Chinese 3813 is Understanding Chinese Culture. That is a course that's also taught in English. So do not be intimidated by the 3,000 number. You don't need to know the Chinese language to take that course. It's a cultural course for Georgia Tech credit. And Econ 2101, Global Economics. That's a good place to take global economics when you're in China. Okay, so these are a total of 9 courses on the program for credit. And so if you're a transient student, it's possible that you may not be able to make use of many of these courses. As long as you can take a minimum of 2 courses, you can join our program. We recognize that these courses do not always map very well into other university courses, so we don't require Transient students to take 3 courses on the program. So if you can find 2, which you should be able to find easily, 2 courses to take, then you can join our program as a Transient student. If you want to take 3, that's great too. Now, here's a list of the courses without prerequisite, which means anyone can take it. Any college students can take it. CS 1331, that's the first course in computer science. Chinese 101, elementary Chinese 1, Chinese 3813, understanding the Chinese culture, and Econ 2101, global economics. So even though Georgia Tech is engineering, predominantly engineering university, on this program we have a good mix of social science courses, humanities courses, and engineering courses, and math. Basically, ISY courses, those courses are math, probability statistics course. So we have a good mixture, and you don't have to be an engineering student to join our program. You can see that there are courses that you don't really need to have any prerequisites. You can join. In terms of cost, this is a great deal because the state of Georgia, the university system in Georgia, actually basically subsidizes study abroad by not charging out-of-state tuition, even if you're an out-of-state student. So here, this is a cost that applies to all Georgia Tech students and also applies to Transient students. So this is a great deal that's really designed for the Georgia Tech or for University System Georgia students, Georgia Tech students, and Georgia students, to encourage them to study abroad. So these are really low cost, and but if you are from other universities, you can enjoy the same benefits. So our nominal course load for Georgia Tech students on this program is 3, and because we have 4 credit hours, 3 2-credit hour courses, and so that's variable how many credit hours the 3 courses will end up. So it's typically between 8 to 10 credit hours. Because this is a 9-week program, that's an appropriate load, between 8 to 10 credit hours. Between 8 and 10 credit hours. That is a good load for 9 weeks, because you don't want to be taking 15 credit hours in 9 weeks. That is just too stressful in a short amount of time when you have a lot of compression. So the total cost includes a few portions. Tuition, and that is where you have the greatest amount of savings, because the tuition, the state of Georgia tuition is already, Georgia universities have quite low tuition as compared to other states. In-state students only pay $334 per credit hour, and if you take X number of credit hours, so that's 334 times X. Out-of-state students only pay $250 more. So the differential between out-of-state and in-state students is only $250 more, instead of the thousands of dollars difference as normally in the fall and spring semester if you study in the on the Atlanta campus. So this is a tremendous amount of savings, because we don't charge typical out-of-state tuition. And again, if you're a Transient student, this is the same formula applies to you as well. And you can compare with your home institution tuition rate. You can see that this is a huge deal. Now the program fee, we have a $4,495 program fee that includes 9 weeks of double occupancy lodging, insurance, language and cultural orientations, cultural courses, banquets, local field trips, and a lot of access campus facility, internet, and a lot of other program activities. So that's a program fee portion. And then technology fee that enables you to access Georgia Tech networks even on study abroad, that's $107. And then special institutional fee, that's something that the University System Georgia charges is $544 per credit hour. These are all standard fees, the same as on the Georgia Tech Atlanta campus, the technology fee and the special institutional fee. But on study abroad, we do not charge the other number of other fees, for example, health fee, transportation fee, activity fees, and so forth, athletics fees. That is typical on the Atlanta campus. So you save on some of the fees, and then especially out-of-state students save a huge amount on the tuition. In addition to these, you also need to budget the airfare. Round-trip airfare depends on where you fly from, and depending on when you buy it, what airline. Typically, in recent years, it's about $1,500 round trip from Atlanta. Now, Atlanta is pretty far from China, so if you fly from the West Coast, it's cheaper. Visa fees is $170, and you have to budget most meals on the program. But meals are quite inexpensive in China. So if you want to eat Chinese food, that's the cheapest, lowest cost option. But if you want steak, pizza every day, then it can be comparable in the US. But overall, you're going to save a lot on meals if you are willing to eat Chinese food on a regular basis. So here is a picture of our instructional building, and this is just renovated, and this is we have very good facility there in Shenzhen. And here is a typical classroom. It's air conditioned and with internet and with the state-of-the-art AV equipment. So where our campus is located is in a vibrant neighborhood. It's a mixed-use neighborhood, the general area. It's very nice. There are, there's a lot of young people who live in the area, and in the area there are just a lot of cafes and artsy scene and book bar, a lot of the bread shops and pastry shops. And so here you can see the general area in the neighborhood. A lot of shops on the first floor of all these buildings is all shops. So a lot of the it's a very, very vibrant young people's area. Okay, so for the program activities I mentioned earlier, that we have, these are the activities that we have every year, but we will also add additional specific activities. So we have every year, we have an opening ceremony with dinner, and we'll have a Shenzhen overview tour. We have weekly Chinese cooking classes, and then we have weekly Tai Chi classes at the end of Tuesday or Wednesday, middle of the week, because we have students who want to travel starting Thursday night. So we only arrange these classes in the evenings, middle of the week. And we have local field trips. We'll also invite industry speakers, entrepreneurs to come and talk to our students about the, about their experiences about industries in Shenzhen, etc. Shenzhen is the, like I said, Silicon Valley of China. So there's just very exciting industry environment and a lot of startups. And we have July 4th banquet and talent show. That's always fun. And we have a closing ceremony with banquet dinner. So these are the key activities. Again, we have more detailed activities. Here is a map of Shenzhen metro system, and by the time you get there, this map will change because there are new lines that will come online, that will start. So the map every year, it's a different look. Again, yeah. So Shenzhen is a very efficient, has a very efficient transportation system, very clean, and if the subway system is just very, very nice. So you can go to most of the places by subway, and then once you exit the subway, there are all these share bikes. Share bikes are very inexpensive, and if you ride for half hour, the cost is 1 yuan. The exchange rate is 7. It's about 7. So 1 yuan divided by 7, that's just a little over 10 cents. You can, or 15 cents, close to 15 cents, that you can ride for half hour. So that provides you a last mile solution. Usually, I like to ride a subway and ride the bike. Now I don't like to, ride taxi because you can get stuck in traffic. So Shenzhen is just has a very efficient public transportation system. China has also a very efficient high-speed rail network. It has the most extensive high-speed rail network in the world. And where we are is close to the Shenzhen North Railroad Station. So here is a link, high-speed rail link to just many cities in China. If you take a train from Shenzhen North, in 8 hours, you'll be in Beijing, the capital of China. And that is a very large distance. You go from the extreme south to north region of China. That takes 8 hours. So you can imagine if you go to southeast region or just the south, it can be a lot quicker. So here, our students travel. They are very adventurous. They travel a lot on the weekends. And in China, train travel is very inexpensive. So you can go to a lot of places really without spending a lot of money. So students they use Shenzhen as a base, and it's almost home. And then every weekend they go. Here we have a picture of our students are very adventurous, trying the local dishes. And if you eat food like this, it's quite inexpensive. Because that's what the locals eat. On the right, it's a picture of Shanghai, the Yuan Garden. If you want to see outside of China, you can easily go just travel from Shenzhen. Shenzhen has an international airport. It's a very beautiful airport designed by an Italian architect that was opened a few years ago. It's one of the most beautiful airports in the world. You can travel from Shenzhen directly, or you can just take a train to Hong Kong. And from Hong Kong, there are more international connections. Here, just two example, like their local regional route maps for Hong Kong Airlines and for Cathay Pacific, and you have other airlines serving the area as well. So you can see that you can just use Shenzhen or Hong Kong as a base and to go visit other countries and regions in that area. Or you can just, since you're in China, it really takes a lifetime to see China. Why not see as many places in China as possible too? So you have a lot of options. So here are here's the deadlines. Now for transient students, you have to start a little earlier than for the other students. Transient application deadline is February 1st because you do a little bit more paperwork than the regular Georgia Tech students. So you first apply to become a transient student at Georgia Tech. You fill the online application by February 1st. There's some supporting documents you need to submit to Georgia Tech. We'll give you 2 weeks to submit those supporting documentation. So supporting documentation needs to be received by the Georgia Tech Office of International Education, that is OIE, by February 15th. Now, there's one additional fee that transient students have to pay is a $75 of application fee to become a Georgia Tech transient student. That's assessed by the Georgia Tech admissions office. That is a $75 application fee. And so here is a list of supporting documents that you need to provide to become a Georgia Tech transient student. And then you also need to fill out a study abroad application. That is for the China summer program that you have to do by February 15th. When you apply for study abroad, you have to pay a non-refundable deposit, which is $500. That is for study abroad on the China summer program. Now, if you are turned down for whatever reason for the study abroad, then we don't charge you we refund you the $500. So it is the $500 is part of your program fee. So after you pay the $500, later you just pay the balance of the program fee. So it's not a different fee. However, the $75 application fee to the Georgia Tech admissions office, that is non-refundable. So for transient students, you apply to the Georgia Tech admissions for the transient status, and then you apply do the China Summer Program online application. You pay the $500 deposit, then you're done with the application process. So here's some contact information on our website, csp.georgiatech.edu. That has a great deal of information, and we're still in the process of updating the website. So we'll continue to update the website with more information, but you can visit the website already to see a great deal of information. My name is Tong Zhou. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself earlier. I am a professor of ECE, Electrical and Computer Engineering, and I'm also the program director since 2005. So I've been working on this program for the past 14 offerings, and this will be my 15th year with the China Summer Program. And I'm responsible for putting overall the program together, and I'll be with the students on-site for most of the program. And also I deal with academic issues. But for other administrative matters, we have Katie Sclafani here from the Office of International Education. She works with students on application payment, excuse me, group airfare, transient student questions, and other general administrative questions. You have our email addresses here, and there is a link for the transient students packet. That is in addition to the regular online application for the study abroad. So here is a QR code that you can scan for more program information. And of course, we also have the website csp.gatech.edu. Thank you for your attention. And so if you have questions about the program, please email us. If it's general administrative questions, please email katie.sclafani@oie.gatech.edu. If you have questions about courses, you can email me, gtz@ece.gatech.edu. So in the past, we have had students from different universities in the U.S., and they had a great time. And so we welcome students from all universities in the U.S. as long as you can take advantage of some of our courses. So thank you for your attention, and this concludes our webinar. And we'll archive this and put on our website. Thank you.